Welcome to DFS Insights. I am David Geislinger, and I'm joined by my cousin, David Grant Jr. The teams up on the block are the Miami Dolphins at the Kansas City Chiefs.
This is where each of us will be giving you our three players to focus on while you're creating all of your lineups. Sometimes we might have the same favorite plays and sometimes we won't. David and I are going to give you a quick breakdown of what we like about the three main plays. Make sure to stay tuned until the end, and we're going to give out two completely free lineups.
Nice. Yeah, let's go ahead and start breaking down this wild card matchup between the Miami and the Kansas City here. Start off with just a quick general overview of this matchup between them. It looks like it's going to be a cold one. The weather's looking. I saw. I mean, as reliable as the weather, the forecast is typically. I've seen basically anywhere from 6 to 10 degrees. Feeling anywhere between like -10 and 2 degrees, so I can only imagine one being outside for a short duration, let alone playing a football matchup in that. I think with that weather being like it is, these teams where Miami is already kind of a run heavy, running the ball about 41% of the time, I think it's just going to increase. That football is going to feel like a rock, throwing it. And with Kansas City, utilizing the run 32% of the time, everybody knows the receivers can't catch anyways. Now you're throwing them, basically, a 20, 30 mile per hour rock. I don't think that's going to help their situation. So, few fun facts here. The Miami Dolphins have lost the last 10 games in temperatures below 40 degrees.
Man, that's, I guess that's what happens when you live in Miami, basically the best state to live in during the wintertime.
So and then Tua in basically his reign is 6-13, 6 wins, 13 losses in games under 70 degrees. So if that's any forecast of what's about to happen, no pun intended with the weather, it's going to be a long day for him. So that's kind of how I see it. With the weather, I didn't see any kind of rains, or in this case snow. It's just going to be cold.
It's just going to be cold, yeah.
So how are you seeing this game?
Yeah, man, it's that because of the weather, I see this being a run-heavy game for both sides. I'm a little upset that I do wish teams were both completely healthy. I'm a big Raheem Mostert fan, and to know that he's questionable, I'm sure he'll probably give it a go and try to play, but not having him at 100%, he's a beast. And the beginning of the season, the 1-2 punch with him and Achane was just amazing. So I'm a little disappointed I'm not going to get the full, Miami squad coming in. And man, when you're going into Kansas City, this is where those guys live. It's where they practice. They're used to that weather. They've obviously been on a crazy. They've just been running the AFC championship and the playoffs and everything, the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm really big. I'm even afraid to go with the kickers, in this. I think, the D, I feel good. I actually feel pretty good about, the defense for Kansas City, and I just don't see Patrick Mahomes losing in the first round.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's similar how I see it. I mean, we got the over-under sitting at about 43.5. It started off at about 44, so it has gone down a little bit. To me, that's a little high for this kind of the weather. And the Kansas City is favored I actually have that wrong up on the screen, but Kansas City is favored 4.5. I have it Miami favored up on the screen, but yeah, no, Kansas City is favored in this matchup, 4.5 points.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, so I honestly, I got Kansas City by I'd give them 10 points, I think.
Yeah,
I I just don't, I don't really I don't see a strong path to it would be Kansas City losing this game, not Miami winning it if
nice.
Miami wins. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
Like
with that, who do you think? Who are your three breakout stars that are gonna lead them to that 10-point victory?
yeah, so, I mean, I'll start out with who I'll mainly have at MVP. I'm sure it's going to be a big shock. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes. Um, the last couple games, kind of like Josh Allen for Buffalo, he's really put the team on his back and is just doing it all. I mean, I could see him running the ball in for, some rushing touchdowns, even though I know you're not, if we look at the game log, does he even have one this season? Get out of here.
No.
Wow, that's wild. Uh, that's that's because he always gets to he'll when the team's coming in on him, he'll go out to the flat, and then right before the line of scrimmage, he dumps it off to Kelsey or to the running back. Lots of RPOs that they run. So I still wouldn't be surprised to see him run one in the playoffs. So I like Patrick Mahomes a lot. I will be mixing it up though with who I put in the MVP, with mainly running backs and possibly Kansas City defense in one up there just because of ownership.
Yeah,
My
no.
my second pick, in I guess I'll go in order. We'll go Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, I'm going to go Isaiah Pacheco. This is going to be due to the weather. Lots of running for both sides of the team, and I do think that they're going to have the lead in the fourth quarter. And if they do, you're going to be running the ball even more. I think Isaiah's numbers, pretty much speak for themselves, especially 3 over the last 4 games. I mean, even against the Raiders, I mean, I know he only had 8.6 fantasy points, but he still did have a touchdown. He's got 4 touchdowns in the last 5 games, and it's just a big part of what they do. I mean, he went 7 for 7 against Cincinnati, 7 targets, 7 catches, and a receiving touchdown. So he's doing. He's scoring. When they get in the red zone, it's going to him or Kelsey. I mean, that's just what's happening, and that'll lead me over to my third pick, which, as much as I wanted to find a Miami guy to put on there, I'm gonna go ahead and just have I'm gonna have 3 Kansas City guys. I'm gonna go with Edwards-Helaire, the RB2 basically for Kansas City. And I just see him at at the 9,500, and he does have some upside. He has a 18 fantasy point game. Even if he gives me a 12 fantasy point game, I'll be happy. But with the extra run stuff that I'm seeing, and again, he also does some nice catching. I mean, he's gone 4 for 4 for 64 yards and a receiving touchdown. And then, against the Raiders, you went 3 for 3 for 42 yards. And 1 for 2 against the Chargers. So being a run-heavy game plan in my game script, I like both running backs for Kansas City. So 3 plays, Mahomes, Pacheco, Helaire. I'm not going to get too frisky and put like Helaire at MVP. I'm gonna go Pacheco or Achan or something like that, depending on my game script. But those are the 3. Sorry for a little bit of the stuttering. It's like I'm I'm teetering. There's so many teetering plays here that it is a little difficult to break it all the way down to 3. But who are your 3? I'm interested to see
Yeah,
if we have any of the same or.
yeah, I like who you picked. Yeah, I would probably avoid. I mean, Allaire, Edwards-Helaire in the MVP. Just I mean, because he's kind of that. You know, you kind of need him to get a touchdown, and even if he got a touchdown, you're looking at maybe a 10 to 12 point game, and I just don't think that's enough raw fantasy points to put him in MVP. You know, but
I agree, for sure.
With my 3, I'm going to start off with the running back here, Kansas City Pacheco, as you mentioned. I'm just going to piggyback off that. I see this, like I said, it's a cold weather game. It's going to be run heavy, and just with the, you know, the stigma that I think Patrick Mahomes, I mean, he clearly is frustrated with all his receivers, with the exception of Rice. I can see them going to be leaning a lot on this run game, especially if early on they're dropping balls due to the weather. So I see him have, you know, very high upside. I'm definitely going to be leaning on him, probably quite a bit in my MVP spot. One, because I think he'll be probably second or third highest MVP owned. I think people will just see Patrick Mahomes and, you know, name recognition and Tyreek Hill and things like that, and maybe just overlook the weather and not consider it a factor. But weather is huge, especially these extreme. Right now, basically games under 50 degrees, there's literally an 8% drop in total yards per the game. So that's like an overall stat. That's running and passing. So. And I'm assuming most of those are going to be passing yards. So yeah, Pacheco definitely will be that my first one. I'm going to actually go here with the Kansas City Chiefs defense, as basically I think, you know, the defense has kind of held them, you know, in where they're at. Their defense is pretty solid, and I think with, you know, Tua not playing well in the cold weather. It is cold weather, so running means a lot less possessions. The clock's going to be continuously running, so the defense is going to be extremely viable here. So definitely have them in the flex quite a bit, and even, like you mentioned, throw them in an MVP spot or two, because I think, you know, Kansas City Chiefs defense will probably also help them win this game for sure. And then I'm going to go and do the others. I'm gonna say, you know, this is my third pick, but it's kind of technically like 3 and 3.5. I'm gonna mainly go with Achane because it's really gonna depend on the status of Mozart. I'm basically, with my lineups, I'm assuming as of now that Mozart still kind of looks like he's maybe about 50-50, and with that, you know, it is an injury, a knee ankle injury, cold weather. I'm assuming doesn't make it feel better. So I'm going to lean on Achane, but basically, you know, at 11.5 and 12.5, I'm going to be basically interchanging them in my lineups. So typically, I like to leave anywhere from, you know, 1,000 to 2,000, 2,500 on the table. So it would be easy just to swap them out. Basically same lineup, just swap those players out. But I can definitely see them, with Tua not performing well, leaning on that run game, is going to be probably, you know, the biggest chance that Miami has. So yeah, those are my 3 people here, and I think, you know, what you said with those 3 and, you know, my 3, I think it gives you know, you, the audience, you know, some good information. And then let's head over here to, you know, do our predictions like we usually do. Who do you see as the clear MVP, and what do you have as the overall game score for this matchup?
So I'm. It's kind of. Do you find it surprising that neither one of us mentioned Travis Kelce as one of our top 3? And I mean, you know, he's at 11K, and I mean, I understand, you know, looking at the game log, you know, I mean, He hasn't had a touchdown in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in 7 games, man.
Since he's
That's
been dating
pretty.
Taylor Swift. I'm just saying.
I know. Well,
Coincidence?
the whole thing at the whole thing at the beginning was like when if she was at the game, he was doing really well. In the game she wasn't at, he wasn't doing well, and then all of a sudden, he just hasn't been himself. Um, it being a playoff game and at home, um, I almost, it sounds crazy to say this, I feel like he might be a contrarian play also, just to throw that out there, especially at 11K. I mean, we know what his upside is, and he's kind of Patrick Mahomes security blanket.
Yeah.
But predictions, my MVP is 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 going to be Pacheco. I think the game's really in his hands, to be honest. He's the game's in his hand. He's been looking great. He's been just in beast mode. I think he's ready to rock and roll, and I see the Chiefs winning it by at least 10 points. I could see this being a pretty low scoring game because of the weather. It's the playoffs. It's usually a closer of a game, lower scoring. Um, you know, I wouldn't be shocked if this was like a Miami Dolphins 10 points, and the Chiefs 24. The Chiefs
24-10.
the Chiefs, right around there. So, yeah, I'd say 24-10 Chiefs. I just don't see Miami being enough, and I don't see it offensively or defensively. So,
Nice.
what's your prediction looking like?
Yeah, I'm gonna second the MVP pick with Pacheco. Like I said, I'm gonna be riding him. Pretty good on the MVP. Just like I said, I think that this is going to be a run-dominated game, and I think Chiefs are going to control it with that. And just like Pacheco at the MVP, I will have a few of Achan and if Mozart play Mozart in the MVP, just to be a little bit contrarian there with going with the Miami Dolphins winning. But with that being said, I am going to go with the Chiefs winning, but I don't have it as generous as you. I have it like 17-10. 17-10. Kansas City takes it by a touchdown. I just don't see a lot of points being here, which probably means it's going to be like a 60-50 game.
I know. And if it is, I see more turnovers happening in this game, so that's why I see the defense. I could see a fumble leading to a pickup. I could see either team getting a defensive touchdown. Definitely the Kansas City getting a defensive touchdown in this game specifically. So
nice. And with all that, now with what you guys have all been waiting for, those free lineups. So go ahead and take a look, and please leave a comment in the comment section below. Let us know what you think. If you haven't, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any more of these shows. We are going to be doing, we're doing the Miami Kansas City game. We are doing the Pittsburgh Buffalo game, Green Bay Dallas, and the Rams Detroit game. So they're floating around here somewhere. So make sure you have a look at that, at those games, especially if you're going to be betting on them. So with that, David, I'll leave it to you to close it out here.
Yep. Good luck to everybody out there. Hope everyone makes a lot of money. And again, just to echo what David said, if you guys I'd love to hear anything in the comments on what who your guys' favorite play. What's the score? What's your game script looking like? Especially in some of these weird weather games. Because I'm all ears if anyone has any crazy stats out there. So good luck, everybody, and I hope everyone makes some money. And you'll be seeing me or David, or both of us, up there at the top with the DFS Insights logo. And just let us know if you'd like that, have that. If you're part of the family, we'll send you over the logo to add as your screen as the little logo next to the name for when you win. So good luck.